We go to Wrigley Field, and a very engaging couple of minutes that our man on the scene, Jim McAteer, spent with the manager, the brain, the teacher, if you will, Tom Trebelhorn.
Of course, you have plenty of time left in the season when you look at the calendar, but of course the one thing that seems to loom over all that talk is the strike. Is that a factor at all when you talk about the whole season?
Well, it's a factor because you're asked about it every day, so you can't make it a non-factor. It's impossible. But it's... I told the players, it's kind of like Sunday night in the wintertime and it's snowing and you don't think there's going to be school on Monday. And so you don't do your homework and all of a sudden the snow stops and there's school. I think if you start thinking about a strike and the fact there's going to be a stoppage, you're going to miss some real opportunities to do some things well for yourself, for the team, for this ball club. And if there's not a strike, it's kind of silly to be thinking about it and waste all that time. I think if there's a strike, we react to it. If there's no strike, we keep playing the way we're supposed to. There is a schedule in place, and our obligation is to play that schedule. Our obligation is not to speculate on whether there's going to be a stoppage because of labor problems.
Now, have you had a chance to use that analogy at a school with kids?
Well, kids, I was the same way. I did a snow dance, so we're not doing a strike dance. So no, we're not. It's a little different, but you just have to be ready. It's kind of like when it's raining. You know, you come to the ballpark and it's raining pretty hard, and you get your mindset it's going to be a rain out, and before you know it, you're playing the game and you're 0 for 3 before you wake up. So you react to the situation the way it is, and the situation is we've got a schedule to play, anticipate playing the full schedule, anticipate getting back into this pennant race and having some fun in the second half of this season. And I think it's really important for us to push hard towards the All-Star break and play well. We let a golden opportunity slip away from us against the Cardinals this weekend, coming after a good road trip. We go 6-2, and then we score 5 runs in 3 days and get only 15 hits when we had been averaging 15 hits over the previous 2 games. So we've got to just start swinging the bats better at home, and I think we'll be more entertaining. If we'll be more entertaining, we'll win. If we win, everybody will be happy, including myself.
Now, another situation besides the strike that has taken up so much of your time, I think, has been the Ryne Sandberg issue. And people say, well, how do you replace Ryne Sandberg? And with the numbers, of course, you can. But how can you try to replace that in the locker room?
Well, he was a very stabilizing influence in this ball club. He was a very classy guy and a fellow who just went about his business in about the best way possible. He prepared well, he anticipated well, and he performed well. And those are the 3 measures of a true good player in any sport. So over the long term, it's impossible to replace that. Right now, there's an emotional replacement we have to take care of, and that's answering questions and dealing with the fact that he's not here. Sanchez should do a good job overall, and I think our ball club will be able to handle it pretty well. But Ryne Sandberg, when he's swinging the bat well, we do not have a perfect replacement for that. We know that. But he is not here, and let's go. Ray's got a chance. Jose Hernandez has a chance. Mike McAteer's got a chance at the big league level, and all 3 of those guys so far have responded very, very well. And the club collectively, I think, has done a very good job of keeping in perspective that it's possible any day for a player to be gone. It's usually an injury, and it's usually the guy will be back. This is kind of a strange case, and I think the high drama of his retirement, of his absence, is probably greater than his absence. And I think if we could put his absence in the proper perspective, that it is just another player that has to be replaced, and I don't mean to make light of him not being here or to not appreciate what he did do, but the reality is I've been other places. I'm not there anymore, and they seem to keep going without me. I'm not a Hall of Famer, but we're all replaceable.
This year it seems Derek May has been booed on occasion and hasn't really been a fan favorite out in left field. You know, why do you think that is this year with some of the players?
Oh, we've played lousy here. We haven't been entertaining. I think when Sarge was out there, they were a winning team. They're very entertaining. And you're going to be the target of displeasure when you're not entertaining. That people choose to spend their time and money to come here to see us play. They want to be entertained. And if you're not entertaining, they're going to respond accordingly. And, of course, Derek is the closest one to the left field bleachers. And if you want to find some vocal fans, they're in the left field bleachers. So he takes an unfair share of some of the displeasure in the left field bleachers. That's going to be true. If we're winning, he won't hear that much. And he's been a pretty good player for us. He drove in 80 runs last year. He's hit 300 most of this year. Had a great game yesterday catching the ball. If Derek plays the way he's capable of playing and we win the way we're supposed to win, that'll change quickly. He does have a little responsibility, of course, to have a little personality out there and try to get along with them. And if you're thin-skinned, they'll get to you pretty quickly. But they get to some thick-skinned people too. They're tough. They're demanding. They're fair, but they're tough and demanding. And when we're not playing real well as a ball club, I'm afraid the people generally closest to it are going to hear about it.
Now, with your position being in here, you're sort of protected, I think, from some of the fans. Did you feel obligated maybe to go out and get up close with them?
Well, I'm down here every day. Before the ball game, people come down and let me know what's up. Certainly when I go to the mound, they let me know. They tell me what my IQ is and a few other things, but that's all right too. You know, you buy your ticket, and the tickets cost a lot of money, and you got a chance. This is a forum or an environment in which you're allowed to speak your mind, and as long as they're not profane, and we have a responsibility not to be profane in response to it. We have to keep our cool. But you hear, you know, sometimes they get after you pretty good, and I am the focal point of it because I make these decisions, and you know, you put players in positions, and if the players don't do it, I made the decision. So the decision, sometimes the decision maker is going to get the brunt of what goes on. The players will get it if they fail and break down seriously and foolishly, but most of the time I'm going to get it. I got to run.
Steve, as I said before, spent a little bit of time with them, and this got to bring back some memories.
Yeah, my little time with the Pirates was a lot of fun, and being able to go to the playoffs. Some players go through their whole career not being able to go, and I was fortunate enough to go with the Pirates, and things like that make a player's career a little bit more meaningful.
Now, you guys have had the sound infield now for a couple years intact, and of course with Ryan Sandberg retiring, I mean, what does that do to the infield as far as just having that familiarity?
Well, I think it makes a difference. Obviously, you're losing an all-star and a Hall of Fame, player. But I think I would look at it a lot differently if Rhino was released or hurt or traded. I mean, Rhino made the decision to retire. I know he's happy about it, so I think everyone else was happy for him, and you move on. It's part of the game.
Now, do you see any problems right now in the infield trying to get things back to where things might have been?
No, I think Rhino's gone. We can't worry about what we don't have. We worry about what we do have, and Ray's done an absolutely great job, and I think the infield's fine.
Now, of course, the friendly confines this season really haven't been that friendly. You guys started to get out of that slump here at home, but right now things aren't going so hot. What do you think the problem is right now?
We're not playing good. I don't think there's any magical explanation other than the fact that we're just not playing very well at home. I think our pitching's taken a lot of heat this year, and I think a little bit unfairly so. I think that us as hitters and the offense haven't been doing what we're capable of doing. I think the pitching's been great, and the offense is what's been struggling. So it's been funny. I've never seen anything like it. It's been a wild year.
Now, you bring up the pitching. The one thing you keep hearing on the radio shows is Randy Myers and the fact that maybe he could put him on the trading blocks and maybe not because of the strike. Is that a distraction for you guys?
I don't know if it's a distraction. Once again, that's part of the game. When you've been around it for a long time, you get used to it. I think for the young guys, it might be a distraction. And I think you need to really look at it as it's not just Randy. I think there's a lot of us that if the Cubs so desired, they can unload some salaries and get rid of some of us older players.
Okay. Thank you very much, Steve. Okay. Steve Buechele, Cubs third baseman. We'll be back with Pat Benkowski right after this.